having a hard time moving on? At Agape, you'll find heartwarming posts and spirit-led inspiration designed to help you take a break from the noise of the day and hear the voice of God. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back or welcome to Agape. This is a community where we discuss the issues of life in a therapeutic setting with the agape love of God. I am your host, Manzaler Lohrey. I go by Manzi. I am a licensed professional counselor. I hope you're doing well today. Thank you for joining me. We have been talking about divorce, how to thrive during the divorce process and after the decree or after the dissolution of the marriage. And today I want to focus on avoiding negative ways to cope during this process. Divorce is very painful. It will be 4 years for me this year, but I can tell you, through the mercy and grace of God, that our lives do not have to end because someone has chosen not to be in our lives, or they have chosen to end the marriage. For whatever the reason is, there is still a lot of life ahead of us. There's so much of the world to see. There are so many people to serve. And that's just one chapter. So today, let's jump in. Let's talk about making sure that we are not using negative ways to cope, or we are avoiding negative coping mechanisms. So the first thing I would say here is substance abuse. Avoid using alcohol or drugs as a way to cope, as these can worsen symptoms and create additional problems. Anything that is going to alter your ability to think, anything that's going to make it difficult to be rational, to make good decisions, anything that's going to make it difficult for you to function in the way that you are supposed to function within the norms, I would say today, please avoid those. And that would be or include drugs and alcohol. Let's look at what the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 20, verse 1. It says, wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. So I know people will say, well, it's just a little wine. The thing with one glass of wine is that it becomes 2 glasses of wine. And then the problem with 2 glasses of wine is that it becomes 3 glasses of wine. And then the issue with 3 glasses of wine, yes, you get my point. So I know maybe before you used to have a glass of wine. I would say now that you are in a place where your emotions are all over the place, there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of hurt. Divorce can be painful. And so emotionally we are hurting, mentally we are hurting. Sometimes there can be some mental instability. But I want to ask you to refrain from using drugs and alcohol for the purpose of feeling better. Because now, guess what's going to happen tomorrow? He or she may not have changed their minds, and so we're going to need another drink, and we're going to need another drink. And God forbid you have children that you need to take care of. If you don't have any children, you have yourself. And so take good care of yourself by not using drugs and or alcohol to manage the difficulties you're experiencing. All right? If you have any comments, please put that below. I'd like to see what your thoughts are. Let's look at isolation. But before I look at isolation, I just really wanted to stress that, running to hard liquor, running to fentanyl, running to cocaine, running to all those drugs that are out there are only going to make matters worse for you. You put yourself in a very vulnerable state. You put yourself in a place where you're not able to think, and you may do things that are not rational. And now you're dealing with a divorce, but now you're probably going to jail. Now you wrecked a car, or you may have your kids taken from you because you're under the influence. So just look at the pros and the cons of using drugs and alcohol, and I want to say that you may not find anything positive. All right? All right, let's look at isolation. Now, I understand that sometimes we need to be alone. We just need that time, hopefully, to rejuvenate, that time to just regroup, to process, to do some self-reflection. So being alone and isolation are two different things. When you're isolating yourself, you are purposefully avoiding others. You don't want a phone call. You don't want a text message. You don't want to have anyone near you. You have purposely chosen that you're going to do life by yourself. And I want to tell you that is a recipe for disaster, because it will only take you down a dark path that you don't want to be on. So I'm asking you to avoid isolation during this time of the divorce process. Or maybe you just got the decree. And sometimes when you get that dissolution to the marriage, it's almost like it starts the grieving process all over, because this is like, wow, so we are really done. Yeah, you are really done. But guess what? There's still a lot of life waiting out there for you. And so we will later on during this process, we will talk about some positive things you can do. And the reason I like to do that is because you start to prepare yourself for new habits, new ways of living, so that when that the dissolution comes, you've already had a routine of things you were doing. Yeah, you will grieve that, but it's not going to hold you down. So back to isolation. While it is normal to need time alone, excessive isolation can exacerbate feelings of depression. Try to maintain social connections even if it feels difficult. So this is something that you're going to choose to do. Yes, you don't want to see nobody today. You don't feel like talking to nobody, but I'm telling you, if you choose to, you can do it. So start by getting out of bed. Once you do that, proceed to the bathroom, wash your face, brush your teeth, comb or brush your hair. Then I want you to decide that you're going to take a bath or take a shower. And then I would like you to pick up that phone and text someone. Hi sis, hey brother, I'm here. I was just going through it. I can use some company. Can you call me? Can you come over? And you'd be surprised that people are going to be so happy to hear from you, and they're going to want to see you. I have in the past sent a text to my girlfriends, and I have said, I can use some girl time. Can we meet up somewhere? Let's meet up halfway. Let's go to someplace and have a meal and just talk. And so I've done that also. So that would be what I would say to you. Please come out of the isolation. Life is not meant to be done alone. We need community. So community does have you and I in it. Isolation doesn't have you in it. So please use this time to stay away from drugs and alcohol as ways of coping, and also make sure that you are a part of your community. Now you may be asking, well, what can I do if it's not drugs or alcohol? How about I give you two things you can do that are positive? Go for a walk or do a workout. YouTube has a lot of exercises that you can look at. There's Zumba, there's ab toning and all those things. And then listen to music. I enjoyed listening to music when I was going through the process, and I still do. All right? We will, like I said, we will get to some positive things you can do, but for sure not drugs and not alcohol. And please do not isolate. All right. I hope you found this content helpful. Please like and subscribe. And don't forget, I will be here next time, and I can't wait to see you. God bless you. Bye-bye.